The life you could have had still visits you sometimes. Not in a way that demands anything, more like a presence that settles beside you when the room is quiet. It doesn't arrive with answers. It doesn't explain itself. It just shows up, usually when you aren't busy enough to avoid it. Maybe it comes while you're doing something ordinary, washing a cup, waiting at a red light, staring at your phone without really reading anything. And suddenly, there's a feeling you can't quite name. Not regret, not longing. Something softer than that. Something heavier, too. You don't see that other life clearly. It's not a full picture. It's more like a mood, a suggestion, a sense that somewhere, in another version of time, things unfolded differently. That life is made of almosts. The job you didn't take, the place you didn't move to, the conversation you didn't have when it still might have changed something. You don't know if that life would have been better. You just know it would have been yours in a different way. And sometimes that feels like something you need to sit with, even if you don't know why. What's strange is how selective it is. It doesn't show you the hard parts. It doesn't show you the bills, the fatigue, the disappointments that would have found you there too. It only shows you the parts that feel lighter, cleaner, less complicated. It shows you a version of yourself that seems less burdened. Someone who took the risk. Someone who didn't have to be careful. Someone who didn't learn how to carry so much. And in comparison, the life you're living can feel dense, full, weighted. Not wrong, just heavy in a way that's hard to explain to anyone else. Most days you don't think about it. You're doing what needs to be done, showing up, keeping things moving. You've built something that holds, that functions, that other people rely on. But then there are moments when the noise drops away and the contrast becomes noticeable. Not painful exactly, just present. It's easy in those moments to wonder if you missed something essential. If the courage you didn't use back then became the tiredness you carry now. If choosing stability slowly reshaped you into someone quieter than you expected to be. But even that thought doesn't stay long. It drifts. Because alongside it comes another realization, one that doesn't announce itself, but lingers. This life asked something of you, and you answered. The other life never had to. The life you didn't live never had to learn restraint, never had to choose responsibility over momentum, never had to stay when leaving would have been easier. The life you're in did. And there's something about that which feels important, even if you don't know how to frame it as meaning. Maybe the weight you feel isn't failure. Maybe it's evidence. Evidence that you cared enough to stay, that you held things together when walking away would have been simpler, that you traded possibility for something real, even when reality turned out to be less romantic than you imagined. Still, it's okay that the other life visits. You don't have to push it away. You don't have to pretend you never wanted it. You can let it sit with you for a moment. Let it remind you of who you were when everything was still undecided. And then you can let it go again, because it isn't here to replace what you have. It's just here to be acknowledged. One day, the life you're living now may become that visitor too, a version of yourself looking back, wondering how you carried everything you did, how you managed to keep going without knowing how things would turn out. And maybe that future version won't judge you. Maybe it will just sit quietly and say nothing, because it understands, and because sometimes that's enough.